I want to thank you for going through and making this smooth transition for Father Vincent and myself. Your grace and love and generosity are demonstrated is very much appreciated. Honestly, I was kind of unsure what I was going to get into after being gone 6.5 years. I had served here as parochial vicar, and I didn't know what I was getting into. I talked with Archbishop Thomas on Friday, and he says, "How are you doing?" Says, "Overwhelmed." He says, "Oh, it's kind of like drinking out of a fire hose." I said, "Absolutely." But I've seen how this parish has grown from the upstart in 2017. It's gone from a young parish on the edge of the town to a parish that's recognized throughout the Archdiocese of Las Vegas for its attention to forming all people of all ages, especially for our young people in the faith, and a strong diligence and adherence to liturgical norms, resulting in a more reverent liturgy. While my predecessors certainly had a strong role in these changes since I left, the reality is it takes the parishioners, it takes a family to make all this possible. The parish is blessed with so many of you who are giving of your time, your talent, and your treasure. Since arriving, I've been blown away by how spiritual this parish has matured. We're going to be able to continue to make that great work happen. I'm looking forward to expanding the ministry offerings. One you heard about the AA group. Another you'll be hearing about, and it was up on the slides. Starting in November, we got a Bible study that is going to be starting on Wednesdays. We've got a lot of things that are going to be coming up. And it's because of the grace of the Holy Spirit and the work of so many here that we're going to be able to continue to grow spiritually and physically. As we can pay down the mortgage on this building and our land, we're going to move to the next phase. I hate to burst anyone's bubble, but I want to emphasize something. This is not the church. This is a parish hall. It's a worship space. So the next phase is to go over in the land that's kind of behind the fence to build our church. And with God's grace and help, we will make that a reality. So we can offer more sacraments, more catechetical opportunities. For centuries, hundreds of pastors have followed a successful blueprint. Some have become saints in building church buildings. I don't intend to reinvent the wheel. Someone asked, why outside the chapel is there a rock with 8 cents on it? Well, St. John Bosco is rumored to have had only 8 cents in his pocket at any given time, and he built many churches in Europe. Since arriving, I found one area of concern that's not specifically spiritual in nature, and that's finances. As a parish, we meet most of our financial obligations. And why do I emphasize most? Because of your weekly generosity, the weekly collection, for those that give up online, it sustains our expenditures any business or any home would have, such as payroll, utilities, supplies, and insurance. If you've got a bill for it, I bet we have the same bill, and then some. But some unexpected expenses have popped up recently. Last Sunday, we had a refrigerator in the office that went out. And boy, did that stink as I had to clean it out. I had a friend help me out, and we couldn't believe how bad it was. A couple of days later, it was still bad. And that's without the stuff in it. We also developed several new roof leaks after last week's storms. We're waiting on getting estimates to fix that, but unfortunately, the roof leaks are probably not going to be under warranty. We also have a new landscaping company coming in to clean up the overgrown and dead plants, trees, and shrubs. Just to do the initial cleanup, it's going to cost us $15,000. It's a one-time fee, but it's going to cost us that. There are 29 trees and shrubs that are dead here on the property. And so we got to go through and clean that up. We're going to unfortunately have to dip into savings to pay that. But there's one financial obligation that we're very, very deficit in, and that's the annual Catholic Stewardship Appeal, or CSA. We are at 59% of pledges of our $197,386 goal. In fund drives, pledges equate to monopoly money. It's cash in hand that ultimately counts. So far, we've received 52%, or 101,865.23 in cash towards our goal. Of the parishes in our diocese within the valley, we're almost dead last. And I know this is not an indication of the health of our parish by any means. We have given less by percentage than Guardian Angel Cathedral, a tourist parish, and even St. Francis de Sales. As of now, we have 313 families participating in the campaign, with over 3,600 registered families. That amounts to 8.5% participation. Last year, at the same moment in time, we're much further ahead, and we had 64% cash towards our goal, with slightly more families participating. Running the risk of sounding too blunt, our campaign has mostly flatlined and held steady since mid-April. Whatever we do not raise in pledges or even one-time donations, the parish has to pay out of its savings. Like your household or your business, we don't want to dip into our rainy day savings. We currently are at $95,520.77 short of our goal. If today was December 31st, we would have to dip into savings to pay that. So what exactly is a Catholic Stewardship Appeal, or CSA? How does CSA benefit me or my household, especially during these hard financial times? Well, these are fair questions. 27% of CSA pays for vocations, the recruitment and education of our future priests. 15% goes into faith formation for children, teens, and adults. 17% pays for continuing education of clergy, and everything ranging from theology, pastoral, and liturgical concerns to finance and accounting. Right now, 59% subsidizes that cost that benefits everyone, from the young, from our infants to our seniors. The rest of CSA funds campus ministries, education, and pastoral outreach to our communities poor and needy and vulnerable, and the vulnerable. Part of the funds go to support our parishioners. We've got 1,500 parishioners that are incarcerated in prisons up in Indian Springs. There are parishioners, and CSA goes to help support it. Another thing that CSA does is it funds the weekly mass, the weekly diocesan mass for the homebound. Every Sunday at 7:30 in the morning on Channel 6 or Channel 33, a priest from the Diocese of Las Vegas does that mass. And if you've ever watched it, you may have seen me on it, because I do it occasionally. And that mass is broadcasted on TV and then also on YouTube. When I was in the hospital in January with a blood clot in my leg, I wasn't able to get to mass, so I was able to watch the mass on TV. All these initiatives of CSA is a form of spiritual and corporal works of mercy. Besides the critical work, CSA does sustain our faith. And because of that, every parish in the diocese is required to participate in this. Everyone from the Newman Center at UNLV, Guardian Angel Cathedral, and the Shrine of the Most Holy Redeemer, Christ of the Desert in Amargosa Valley, Sacred Heart in Ely, and all the parishes within the diocese have a goal. Now this goal, how it's formed, the Diocesan Financial Office comes up and says, this is how much money we're going to need. And based on weekly collections and attendance, they come up with a formula and divide out what each parish has as a goal, so that no one parish is unduly burdened to raise that funds. It's hard for me as a new pastor to have the money talk. In fact, I hate it. This is the worst talk. You talk to any priest, even Father Jim says in his 47th years, it's the hardest talk to do. But I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this need to you right now. I know it's going to be difficult for this. The good news is that we still have 5 months left. I've been told that this parish traditionally comes through towards the end of the campaign. Last year, Father Bob did a big push around just before Halloween after the campaign stalled. And we were able to erase the $42,000 debt that we had, and we raised an additional $10,000. That means in November and December, some of the toughest months for nonprofits, we raised over $50,000. I'm confident that we can reduce the $96,000 deficit. And I hope to be able to exceed that so we can put the money back into programs here at St. Anthony's. So if you haven't made a pledge at all, we made it real easy. Go to our website, saplv.com. Just go up there on the home page. You'll see Catholic Stewardship Appeal over on the left side. Or go up on the top where it says online giving. You can also go to the online giving if you want to do reshare and give your contributions online. If you would like to get an envelope, our volunteers are in the back and they'll take an envelope. You can fill out the envelope, give it to one of the volunteers, and we will save you postage. We'll take it down for you. You can write a check, put your credit card information in, or say that you want to be billed. If the 3,500 families who have not made a pledge did so in any amount, we make our goal. I estimate if all 3,500 families did about $30, we'd go through and erase that goal, that deficit that we've got. $50, we'd have money coming back. It doesn't matter how much it is. Every little bit counts. And a money counter says there's a family that all they do is put 50 cents in the weekly collections. 50 cents is 50 cents, and when you add 50 cents to another 50 cents to another, it adds up and helps us to pay our goal. So for those that made a pledge, thank you. Thank you for your generosity. For those that haven't, I thank you in advance for your generosity. Together we'll be able to make our goal and continue to grow here to share the message. And I want to thank all of you for welcoming me and Father Vincent during this time, and together we're going to grow our parish. So thank you. And let us stand.